So let's go to aperture. So aperture is like opening of your eye. Aperture has to do with the lens. Like I said, I was going to explain how zoom lenses work. It works with aperture. So when you see a lens that says 3.5 to 5.6, what it means is that at the lowest of that zoom lens, let's assume the zoom lens is 18 to 105. They now said f3.5 to 1.8. That's how you know is they'll put one column, they'll now put 3.5 to 5.6. That's the range of the aperture based on the zoom lens. So you can get more than, but you can never get less than. So you can never get less than 3.5, but you can always get more than 5.6. You get what I'm saying? So at 18, so now our prototype is 18 to 105. At 18, what you will get is 3.5. That's the lowest you can get. At that 18, you can decide that you are going to 5.6. You can decide that you are going to 10. You can decide anything. But the lowest you will get is 3.5. So as you move up, so if you move to maybe a 20, for instance, the lowest you will get is 4. That means that you can't get 3.5 at 20, as in, for example. So as you move, you see that if you check your camera, as you move the zoom, if you put it at 3.5 on 18, as you move the zoom to go higher, the aperture automatically increases on the camera. So it will be increasing 3.6, 3.7, 8, 9, then it moves to 4. So the reason why they say 5.6 is that as at that 105, the lowest you can go is that 5.6. That's why it's in range. The zoom range is 3.5 to 5.6. So as at 105, there's nothing you want to do in this life. As a move the knob, it will not go back, it will not go lesser than that 5.6. You can go higher. So at that 105, you can try to keep shooting 5.6, 5.6, 5.6. You can go higher. No wahala. You can go to 10. No wahala. In fact, if you go to 10, by the time you are reducing it, on that 18 will come back to 5.6 or something. So because it's zoom, it would keep. So when I was shooting a zoom lens, if you put at 18, if you put it at 5.6, yes, it won't move. So I used to try to shoot at 5.6. Why? Because I want my aperture to be very static. So I put that 5.6, which is the highest, which is the lowest that the 105 can go. So it remains static there like that. That's the only way I get static. But shooting at 5.6 is you have to shoot with a lot of light. Sometimes you have to increase your ISO a lot, depending on if you are shooting indoors. If you are shooting outdoor, it's a perfect trick. Honestly, it's a good trick. Just put it at 5.6, keep shooting. Whether you're at 18, whether you're at 105, you shoot at 5.6. So the lighting is the same. You might not be using flash, or you might. If you're using flash, that's a different case entirely, because if you take a far subject at 5.6 and a close subject at 5.6, you get different results, because the flash also has a range, and all of that. So but if you're not using a flash outdoor, put 5.6, just keep shooting. You realize that you get very even images eventually. Outdoor. Indoor is a different ball game, because you have to use a flash or light, except if the indoor is evenly lit, which is usually rare. But you can create your own lighting depending on what you want and everything. But basically, that's how those zoom lenses work. But now the prime lenses are fixed, as in like they are fixed. The 35 is fixed at 35, and then you can zoom, so 2.8. So you decide where you want to put the aperture. So if they say it's a 1.4 lens, that means you can go to 1.4, stay there, and keep shooting. You get the idea. So now the type of lens that I showed in the previous video about 2.8, that 2.8 zoom lens, is that now that one now has is one colon 2.8. That one has the capacity to stay at 2.8. That's the type of lens. That's how it is built. Whether it is at 24 or 70, that's the build of that type of lens. So it's a zoom but it has the capacity to stay. So the manufacturer will write it on the lens to tell you what exactly you are getting. If it is 24 to 70 f, they'll put 1 semicolon 2.8, or they might not put 1, they'll just put 2.8 f 2.8. You know that, oh, I can go to 2.8 and keep shooting throughout. Then you have to control the aperture yourself. You can also go to 5.6. You can go higher. You can always go higher. The numbers are usually, you can go higher, and all of that. So yeah,